Welcome back. I have Mr. Amit Banka prepared for us as he's ready to tell us about his journey as the founder and the CEO of We Naturalist. So stay tuned. We have a lot prepared for you. Mr. Amit?
Hello, Nina.
Hi, how are you?
Okay. Thank you so much for being for taking this time out. Thank you, KUTV, for this.
You're very welcome. How are you feeling this morning?
Very well, Nina. Very good morning to you.
Thank you. It's good to see you this morning.
Thank you.
Mr. Amit, a lot of people are wondering, what is We Naturalists? Help us understand what is We Naturalists.
So, We Naturalist is a very simple platform. It's an ecosystem. It's a digital ecosystem where we consolidate climate action, where we bring people of nature together, where they can collaborate, they can connect with various people, they can find opportunities to excel in nature, whether it is jobs, assignments, events, trainings, fundraise to that extent. They can fulfill their dreams or passions with respect to nature. In addition to that, a lot of organizations are finding ways of using We Naturalists to find a lot of digital solutions for their work. So overall, if I really have to see it, it's a digital ecosystem which helps professionals and organizations to help them work better in this natural world. So this is what We Naturalist is all about. It's a global platform where we reach more than 300,000 members over more than 50 to 100 countries. It's a large ecosystem where we intend each and every individual professional nature lover to participate and empower this entire nature ecosystem to ensure that each one of us are doing our part in bettering this particular place or the planet for our future generations.
Thank you, Mr. Amit. I was wondering, what gaps are we addressing with the solutions available on We Naturalists? What gaps are you filling in as We Naturalists?
That's a very good question, and I think very few people or among us will ever be able to figure out the gaps because the life is running as usual. All the NGOs, all the professionals in nature have been excelling so well and contribute to climate action. But if you really see on an overall basis, there is no such platform where we can bring all these nature professionals and people in environment or climate change or global warming or at conservation level of flora and fauna at one place where they can share solutions with each other. And because of that, a lot of time and energy is wasted in redoing certain solutions at their end. So if something is being worked out in Africa's, how they can explore and how they can inspire people in different parts of the world to use those solutions. So imagine the amount of time and money that will be saved in not redoing those models or those solutions. In addition to that, if you would have really seen that in NGO world, there are very few digital solutions available right now where they can participate, they can improve upon their work, whether it is in the form of ERPs, whether in the form of membership management platforms, whether it is in form of project management, whether it is measurability and accountability at the project level. There are a lot of these things that are being worked upon, but there are very few such solutions available today in this part of the world. So that's the primary reason why we identified these gaps and thought that it's very important for us to address that, so that whatever our targets are for whether it is 2030 targets or Paris Agreement targets in 2050, they can be achieved much better, much faster. And these people are getting more and more empowered to achieve their goals.
Mr. Amit, you are obviously a lover of the environment and nature and very passionate about making the environment a better place. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts and opinions in regards to the current state of the climate and the environment right now in the world? What are your thoughts and opinions?
So I think I'm actually too new in this particular space to give my thoughts and opinions to that extent. But whatever my limited learning has been, whatever my learnings have been so far, I can really see there's a tremendous amount of action that is taking place all around the world to meet our climate change requirements. The only thing that we need is cohesive approach which can bring people together, and so that whatever efforts are being taken, they can be minimized, but our achievements are much more larger. So our idea is, whether it is in US, whether it's in Africa or in Asia, all of these people, all of us will have to come together to ensure that our efforts are going in the right direction. Right? Based on our understanding and learning, and it's also the data which has been released, there are more than 150, $200 billion being spent. So how we can channelize this money correctly, how we can bring all the solutions together using this particular money and really show ground level impact in the right way. So, that's exactly what I believe in. And I exactly want to execute entire effort in that particular direction to ensure we achieve those milestones.
That's interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Amit. How can the digital transformation with We Naturalists improve the overall impact by each individual and organization?
Right. I think that's one of our focus areas, Nina, that we are introducing tools and solutions in such a way that each and every organization either can use We Naturalist to reduce their costs, reduce their efforts, yet meet the same or better milestones for themselves. They can use these tools for better communication with their people or members or participants in any manner, in whichever direction that they are working on. For example, if you're running a membership-based organization, right, and you're running programs, how you can create your own community where the memberships or members can survive, and at the same time you can create a very interesting participation and project management structure around that, right? This can actually give a very different direction to your entire organization by bringing costs down, by making operational efficiencies, and at the same time improving probably some of the earnings that you had from either members or selling of content, or working towards creating much better ecosystem around your projects, or ground level execution of projects can be much better and measurable in some sense. Your cost of maintaining data is going to be significantly lower if you use We Naturalist in the right form. There are people who have been using this particular platform for bringing contests to the masses, running competitions over here, because the way it's been built is largely driving solutions to each and every activity that a nature organization does today, right? So what I'm explaining you right now is what We Naturalist can do and how it can be beneficial to each and every individual who's working in nature.
Earlier on, sorry? I feel like I cut you short. Okay, earlier on you mentioned that there's a lot of funds that have been channeled into the environment. You mentioned 150 to 200 million, and I'm wondering, I'm curious, do you think that the money that has been channeled into the environment, into nature generally, is being used properly, especially towards disaster management as individuals in the world? Is it being channeled, is it being used the right way?
I'm sure, and I'm, to be honest with you, no one to comment on whether it is being used in the right way or it's the respective organizations who are setting themselves targets of spending this particular money are the people who can answer this particular question well. What I can clearly see is that we need more and more money to flow into this particular direction. And the second thing that I am reasonably sure is that we need a consolidated approach to make it happen. And with that particular approach, your activities on ground will show you different results. Your milestones will be far more achievable, and your impact on ground will be far more visible to the world.
How can Kenya and Kenyans play the role in global climate change, and how can they use their voices to make the climate and the environment a better place? How can they put their stories at the forefront and be heard and be given a chance to make the world a better place?
Right. I think, Meena, on this particular one, I would like to say, and categorically, that everyone in the world, not only just Kenyans per se, can play a very, very critical role in conserving nature and make it habitable as long as possibly we can see. Kenya, otherwise, as such, the way I have seen Kenyan market, I have seen a significant amount of awareness in Kenyans and primarily East African communities about nature, about conservation of nature, and at the same time they have understood the requirement much better than any other part of the world, primarily because they have lived through and various organizations have governed themselves so well in that part of the world that the education, the awareness, the relatability towards nature has been worked upon very, very closely. Now, when it comes to awareness around nature, I find it very high in the East African market and primarily Kenya. And that's one of the primary reasons Kenya remains one of our larger markets in every balance, right? And I personally think with that awareness and if that kind of resource management, if we can channelize all these things in the right way, Kenyans, every individual, whether it is youth, whether it is the organizations, whether it is people who are working extensively in this space, they can really move mountains out here. So I personally believe that all of us have a role to play, but Africans, because of the way it is structurally designed, they have a much, much larger role to play in nature conservation.
It is said that Africa is very rich in terms of the environment, trees and all that, and resources rather, natural resources. What is it that we can do better in terms of taking care of these resources, taking care of our trees? Do we need to plant more trees? Do we need to look out for how we are disposing of our garbage? What exactly is it we need to do? Trees, give us some hints, some tips, some advice as an environmentalist.
Tree planting to all these things are it's very natural, lowest hanging fruits that come to our mind when it comes to conservation. But largely, I personally believe if Kenya is what I really believe it is in today's world and what the kind of role that it can play, the most simple thing is that we can set examples of impact on the ground level, realities to what our conservation efforts are yielding on the ground. And if we can create certain measurable case studies, we can go down deeper and figure out how we are managing our resources well. What kind of voices are being created? Because I'm in touch with so many youth voices in that part of the world, and I can see the kind of impact and inspiration that they can create for rest of the world. I think that work has to be heightened, that work has to be highlighted a little bit more to ensure that we reach the right corners all around the world. And that representation, that data, that the focus on digitization of their work, right? And that's where probably I think We Naturalist plays a very, very critical role in heightening those efforts which are happening on the ground. And I firmly believe it's not because I'm founder of We Naturalist, but I think we need to use something like We Naturalist to ensure that our voice and our work and our measurability of that particular work is taken to the world market.
As we look at, just so you said that we need to use We Naturalists to make it a better place. What exactly or how will We Naturalists contribute to the change?
I mean, just with the examples that I had given, whether it is using We Naturalist for your work, for your project management, for finding out exciting opportunities that makes you more independent, more sustainable. Running certain projects over here where your ability to drive that project efficiently is more possible. You can execute a project at a lesser cost, right? Which saves you money, which saves the donors some money, and that money can be utilized much better. So I think if you lead by example and use certain tools that you use more efficiently, the overall ecosystem will take a significant change. And I think that's what I mean by why We Naturalists can play that particular role in creating better impact on the ground.
Thank you, Mr.
Does
Amit.
that answer your question?
Yes, you have. You have answered my question. We have. Sorry, you have something to say? Something to add?
No, thank you.
Okay. We have the People of Nature Awards, right? And
Right.
I was curious, would you tell us something about the People of Nature?
Sure. So the idea came about when we realized 2 years back that everyone is trying to celebrate and work towards, animals, tigers, elephants, rhinos, turtles. But it's important that we try and shift our focus, as We Naturalist has always focused on empowering, celebrating people of nature. And people of nature would be anyone who works in nature and has contributed towards the climate action in any positive manner. So that's broadly what our definition was. And we realized that it's important that we start celebrating and honoring people of nature at the global level. And that was the reason last year we introduced, on 1st of October 2021, we introduced People of Nature Awards. That coincided with the World People of Nature Day that again we introduced last year to celebrate people of nature and to ensure that these people are always celebrated because of their contribution to the natural world. And because of that, we started People of Nature Awards. And this is the second year of this. And most critically, which I'm extremely excited about, is we have for the first time started Leaderboard in this season of People of Nature Awards, where each and every activity and the votes and the work that these people do, or the nominees do, contributes to their placement on the leaderboard. And then there is a constituted jury from all over the world, which looks into the work, their activities, their contribution to the natural world, and decides a winner. And with this as a structure, we have around 16 categories of awards, of which 13 are in the adult space, 3 are in the children and youth space, between 5 years to 15 years. And that's one area that we believe, which is children and youth, is the biggest contribution that We Naturalist is intending to make over a period of time. So We Naturalists over a period of time will ensure that youth and children are not ignored when we talk about climate action, and we reach as many people as possible to ensure that they have their voice. They are trying to protect our natural environment in as much as much vigor, as much scale, as much attention to the details as much as possible to ensure that we achieve our desired results as soon as possible.
Is it open to the public? And if yes, the people who are out there in the public and they would want to participate and be involved in the People of Nature Awards, how can they get to you? What exactly is required for them to be part of the event?
Very simple, Nina. They just have to log into platform. If they believe that one of the categories that they qualify for, they should just read terms and conditions and apply for it. It's as simple as that. There is no cost attached with it, and they can then simply share their nomination and their work with anyone else in the world. People will watch it, their friends and families, everyone is going to see it, and obviously they can vote. Their activities that they do on the platform as well will yield significant amount of benefit when it comes to their nominations and the points that they garner. So simply put, it's a very easy 2 or 3 step process for you to get nominated and then start getting voted for.
And what are the timelines for the event? When do we have this event coming up?
So this year we are conducting this event on 29th of September. 31st of August is the last when we will accept the nominations. So far we have hundreds of nominations which have already been received from all over the world. And we're really hopeful that people will find this particular approach and the way we are conducting it very unique. And I think there will be many ways of engaging, many ways of meeting different set of people and achievers, young achievers from different fields. So yeah, I think 31st August is the last when they can nominate themselves or their friends.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Amit. As we wind up, I'd like you to kindly let us know where we can get you on your social media, where we can get to We Naturalist, and also a word of advice to the public on how maybe that one thing that you would want them to do better in terms of conserving the environment.
Yeah. So as far as reaching out to me is concerned, I'm available on Twitter largely and LinkedIn. But as far as We Naturalist is concerned, We Naturalist is available across all platforms, and primarily you should follow us on We Naturalist itself, because that's some place where we have the most amount of quality, not just content, but people, but projects, which might excite you to do more for nature. And it is open for everyone. So anyone who wishes to contribute to nature, please feel free to get onto We Naturalist and see what all you can contribute to. As far as a simple advice that I may have, or maybe urge that I may have for everyone, is try to figure out whatever best we can do for nature, for protecting our environment, in our backyards, to within our homes, to recycling, to reusing, reducing some of our consumption in any form, right, would help us conserve nature. So don't go for wildlife trekking or expeditions. You don't need to go do that to conserve nature. Most importantly, find out ways to conserve nature in your backyard, at your own houses. And that's the best thing that you can do. Obviously, there are multiple ways of engaging yourself with organizations who are professionally doing this work. But my urge is for everyone to contribute to nature in as much, in a holistic way, right? And that begins from our houses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amit. We've come to the end of this conversation. I am very grateful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge. Very knowledgeable man. We are very grateful. I'd like to say have a very beautiful day and all the best with the People of Nature Awards.
Thank you so much, Nina, and thank you, KUTV.
Have an amazing day, Amit.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you so much for joining into that conversation with Mr. Amit Banka. He's shared quite a bit of knowledge. So get into your social media, get into your internet. Look out for We Naturalists. He said, plant trees, start from your backyard, start from the space where you are, dispose of garbage properly so that we can make our environment cleaner, and definitely better. We'll be coming back with the second set of the launcher. We'll see you after this short break.